I think I'm live. Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Tamlin here. This is live on Facebook. I'm just going to do a tech moment to go over to Instagram and go live on Instagram at the same time with this amazing ability of technology called StreamYard that lets me go to multiple places. So there we go. Okay, I think we're now live in various places, and I know there's a little delay, and you all know how that works. So happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, July 24th at approximately 11:32 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Not that the time matters at all, but I'm just giving it a timestamp. So Rick Tamlin here. You guys know I wrote a book called Play Your Bigger Game, and I just want to underline the philosophy of it, the methodology of it. There's a philosophy in the book. There's a methodology with the model that it comes with. It's now about 10 years old, and it has legs. And I recently shared it with somebody and delivered it, and being asked to deliver it again at another major conference in the fall. So I'm just so proud of and give a shout out to my co-creator of this work, Laura Whitworth, who has since passed on to the other plane, if you will. But I just want to do a shout out to the longevity of this type of work and the remarkableness of that. And I wish that for all of you, if you're listening, that you find a philosophy or an ideology or a methodology to something that really sticks and has longevity to it. And you don't know when you design it if it's going to, but I sit here today on this Wednesday of 2024 proud that it continues. So with that said, I do this live every Wednesday, and I wanted to feature somebody a bit. Not they won't be here live, although I have a dream that they might show up live at some point. I might interview them. But I want to do a little shout out to this book that a colleague of mine referred to me, called A Happy Pocketful of Money, Infinite Wealth, and the Abundance of the Here and Now by David Cameron Gigandi. I think it's Gigandi, right? Gikandi is his last name. So very much in the quantum physics metaphysical space this book has been written from. So I know that the money word is on the cover. Everybody wants more money. That's the hot topic. But the philosophy and the teachings that he offers here is very much, it can apply itself to any major topic in one's life, right? Whether that be your relationships, whether that be your lifestyle, whether that be your money life. I mean, money for the sake of money, as we know, is, money is not for the sake of money. Money is for the sake of something, right? So I just want to double check. I know that Jocelyn is in my world listening. Can you hear me, Jocelyn? Okay, okay, great. I just wanted to double check. Okay, great. So she's actually written into the chat the name of the book. But one of the chapters, I think it's a remarkable book, by the way. I'm having my family read it. I'm having my friends read it. I'm having all my clients read it. It very much goes behind the curtain of how we truly create, how we desire, how we turn desire into things, how thoughts become things. It's very much in that space, which I'm fascinated by and keep wanting to dive into more and learn more. And so this was another deep dive into that. And it's written in a way that's very tangible, understandable, kind of gets at the underbelly of how we really create in a beautiful way. And one of the chapters is, I'll just name the chapter title. Chapter 6, Goals, the Roadmap to and in Wealth. Okay. So I just want to do a bit of my favorite metaphor. I want to hum a few bars this morning this morning. I was noticing the time. What time is it? Yeah, it's 11:30. On goals. Okay. And I'm going to read a couple of lines that he talks about about goals, right? So this is related to goals. The trick is, this is, and I'm quoting, right? The trick is in the details and in the consistency. For example, if you're having a new home, if having a new home is a goal you have, write it down in detail. Write down where the house is located, how many rooms it has, the size of the compound, the size of the home, the furnishings in it, and so on. And then visualize it that way, and do not change your mind. I'm going to read that. He even says, this is very important. Do not change your mind. Understand that the universe is actively manifesting into physical form all your thoughts. Every single one of them turns into some amount of physical form somehow and somewhere. If you change your mind, you will be undoing your own work. Just hold your thought until it becomes fully physical. Because what happens is we have a dream, we have a goal, and then we start to doubt it and we start to wonder about it. And as soon as we wrap that goal into a space of doubt in any shape or form, right, we've just sent a confusing message to myself, to my world, to my friends, to my family, to the universal energy of how things work, right? So the other thing that I wanted to underline here about goals is he does ask this great question in this great book. How many goals should you have? Okay. I love this answer. You can never have too many. The wealthiest people have hundreds. Some have thousands. So some have so many goals it would take between 200 or 300 years to create them all. This is an amazing sentence. It's really confronted me and set me into orbit. Like, what? But I just want to read what he said. And I'm really been considering it. And I'm actually going to turn it into an exercise for myself. You should aim at having at least 5,000 goals. So this call today, I named it, having 1,000 goals. I even lowered it. He said 5,000. To understand why, again, I'm reading, to understand why, you have to understand the nature of goals. Okay. Bullet point number 1, goals are images of the mind, the stuff that the universe uses to create. So the more you have, the more you give the universe to work with, and nothing is impossible or difficult for the universe. Bullet point number 2, goals have a tendency to just come true at the most unexpected times and in the most surprising sequence. The more goals you have, the richer your life experience will be. I need to read that sentence again. It's always I should just have a couple because I have too many. But just notice your ability to hold a lot, right? The more goals you have, the richer your life will be, your life experience will be. Bullet point number 3, and I love this. When you reach a goal, its power disappears. You no longer have a driving force, and the universe no longer has anything to work with. You no longer have a driving force, and the universe no longer has anything to work with. So the more goals you have, the better. How can you possibly have 5,000 goals, he asks. Easy. Think of details of everything connected with your desires. List everything. This is the exercise part. List everything, even small things like, I want, he gives examples. Lilies in my garden, decorate my grandmother's house for her, donate to the Wildlife Conservancy Conservation Fund, buy a BMW convertible, buy a Jeep, have a saltwater aquarium in my living room, get my father a golf set, buy books for orphan children, take a trip to the Great Wall of China, meet these people, date these types, work with these groups, buy this type of views, have these clients, wear clothing from these desires. He just makes this long list. Have this type of chairs from this type of a shop. I want to wear these type of ski boots. See how it's so specific and so granular, right? You can never run out of the things that you would love to do, be, or have. Actually, I got to read it again. It's so good. You can never run out of things that you would love to do, be, or see on this physical planet. The more you have these switches in your awareness, the more you will start meeting with coincidences in your life that make them come true. Life starts working magic, and you have passion and excitement. So, I'm not going to read any more about that. I just wanted to have us understand this concept today on this Wednesday of, dare to have a lot of goals. And there's the dream big metaphor. And I'm a guy who wrote, dare to dream big, have a big impact. I'm that guy. And now this is very oriented towards allow yourself to have a lot of big goals. Or by the way, who knows what big means? It's like I have a goal of, having a coffee maker that makes, it doesn't matter. And to write them all down, and I just, what an interesting exercise to not stop writing until I get to 1,000. Like that, I don't know how long that'll take, but allow yourself to want that much. And again, it's all about, I want to give to, a good cause. I want to be able to give $5,000 to a good cause. I want to be able to have this impact. I want to write a book. I want to write a play. I want to actually be able to buy a better computer, whatever it is. And let yourself have all of those goals and not be shy about them and not be ashamed of them. Because soon as we wrap those goals in another energy of like, I don't know if I'm allowed to, or should I, or what does that mean about me if I want that? And you've just said to the world, you've said to yourself, I don't know, maybe. And as soon as you maybe it, right, you send out a mixed message, which leads me to the concept which I've learned in the land of becoming a quantum person. I got my doctorate. That's why I'm a doctorate. I got my doctorate degree over the last couple of years in from the Ralph Waldo Emerson Institute. I don't share that to impress you. I just share that with you because I studied quantum physics and how it works, and on the quantum level, and the energy and the photons and all the mechanics of how it actually works in the universe. It's fascinating. And our thoughts are things, and you put them into the world, and they actually become something. And right, and allowing yourself to have these the number of, and I'd actually have it be a physical number of 1,000 goals that I want for myself on this physical plane, on this physical earth, in this lifetime. And allow yourself to want it, right? Allow yourself to want it, and set down the energy of I need to earn it, I need to prove it, I need to pass some sort of test so I get to have it. I learned that one in a great workshop that I took with a dear friend of mine, Lisa Danley, who does this remarkable work called Lucid Living, and Jeanine Mancusi, which Jocelyn, I'd love you to put in lucidliving.net into the chat as another resource for people to get behind the curtain of how this works. But why I'm sharing that is it really revealed for me on one of their retreats the inner life modality I had going on that was running my life was I had to earn it. I always had to earn it. Not to show up. I have to do my work. I have to do my inner work. I have to do my outer work. I do an event. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. But so like I'm showing up with the work. But I had to let go of, I actually have to prove my worth to then have it. And that is a slippery slope. You can just, even if you hear that, you're like, oh my gosh, and it does activate the do I have worth? Am I worth anything? And what am I worth? And that whole worth conversation is actually somewhat worthless. If you have the desire to impact people's lives, and you have a calling to activate and animate and support people, because if you're a follower of me, you're probably in that space. You're a coach, you're a trainer, you're a leader, right? You're in that consciousness of, I want to impact people's lives in a broader way, not just, help them have a happy moment. And that part of you, if you have that calling, and I shared this on a group call that I did this morning, if you have the, hello, Amy and Danella, nice to see you on Instagram here. So if you have that calling, if you will, It means you have the talent and you have the goods, you have the wherewithal, you have you have it. If you're called to it, you already have it. There's no lack. There's no, you might have to study something, you might have to learn a technology, you might have to, right? That's all the the physical plane stuff. Like, I'm using a technology called StreamYard. Here I am talking to you about this. I'm using all the resources on this physical plane to offer a message. But I'm inviting you into the inner life of yourself, that if you have the calling of this and you have the goals that you desire for yourself, it means you have the capability to generate them and create them. Otherwise, they wouldn't come to you. I shared that with a group this morning, and they had this huge aha. And by the way, I want to make sure I give credit. I think that's an Elizabeth Gilbert concept. If you have the dream of impacting people's lives in a positive way or shape or form, in whatever form it wants to take, it means you have the ability to do it. There's no lack of ability. There's no lack of creativity. There's no lack of there's no lack inside of that. What there is learning. I need to learn how to use that technology, and we have all the means to get it out there. But you have the creativity and the wherewithal to figure it out, because otherwise it wouldn't come to you to do it. So I hope that makes sense. So if you have a question or a comment, you're welcome to put it in here. I'll address it right now if you want. And Jocelyn is over there on Instagram watching, and she'll throw it into the chat for me inside the Facebook group. By the way, the technology Instagram, I can't see necessarily all the comments over there. So with that said, I just want to make an offer and dare to put I want to reframe it a different way this morning. I do this event. It's called Produce You, the event, and Jocelyn will put it in the chat for a link to it. It's a 2-day virtual event, and we uncork, and I uncork, if you will, or reveal and underline and give you, ways to think about having the more of your world and the world experience more of you. Because the more experience they have with you, and the more they get to see the real you and the passionate you and the difference maker you, then the offer that you offer them through you and from you becomes an easier sale. It's that simple. And so this event called Produce You, the language of it is to help co-produce with you, give you a mindset, give you a strategy, give you an ideology, give you a methodology to have more of the world experience more of you. And I have this methodology that I'll roll out in October. It's called the M-Power model. And all the words begin with M, right? It's about understanding that you have a message that comes out of the mess of your life, that becomes a doorway into a methodology that you want to put into the world. I know it's a bit esoteric right now, but I'll walk you through this model, and it's a infinity loop. Because I'll leave you with this concept, and I invite you to come to this 2-day event. And let me just slow down for a second and give you a reason why I think you should come, other than why just because I tell you to. If you're one of those people that is following people who you have a moment of, I could do what they're doing, or I want to be who they're being, or I want to have the impact that they're having. If you have any of those voices in your head, this is an event I invite you to. This is an experiential event that I invite you to. I have that with Mel Robbins. I have that with Tony Robbins from many years ago. I would watch these people and I'd go, I think I have it. I have a calling to be like that. And it wasn't ego-based. And I want to offer this to all of you. It's your soul's calling. It's like I have to get my thing into the world. I have to, in my language, I have to play a bigger game, which is really what bigger game means. I have to, there's this thing, there's this energy, there's this philosophy, there's this ideology, there's this offer, there's this difference I want to make that I want more people to experience. And I want that from my world. This is why I do this work. I want that for you, because think of it this way: when more of the world experiences more of you and from you and through you, it touches your soul. How do I know that? As an actor from the entertainment industry many, many, many years ago now, when I would get off the stage, and one could go to, oh, that was your ego, but I would get off the stage, especially from a musical, and people be clapping at the end of the musical. And if I remember doing Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and it would end. It was an incredible version of it many, many years ago, and be thunderous applause and standing ovation. And I remember feeling that it was such a joyful moment of, we took people on a journey, we brought them entertainment, we opened up their hearts a little bit. It's the classic theater experience. And I remember feeling that moment of, that feels so great. And by the way, it was not money driven. That summer of summer stock, I think they paid us $300 for the entire 2.5 months of the run of 6 shows, by the way. So it wasn't money driven. It was passion based, and it was so fun, and it touched my heart and it touched my soul. And I've never forgotten that feeling of when you share, and in this case, it was through theater. I was singing, I was dancing, I was talking, I was being a character. But the same concept of, you want the world to experience your essence of yourself through the way in which you do it. It touches your soul. It feels so good. So, and I also know that from doing this event now. I've done it for about 7 years. It used to be live in a hotel room. That was a whole different model. Now, because of COVID, it's all moved over to the virtual world. And I know it's now going back to hotel rooms for many, many people. I'm continuing to do it virtual. It's from our home. I bought cameras. I bring in people. We do this amazing interactive dynamic experience for 2 days. It's called Produce You, the event. So invite you to join me in that. Tell your friends. Its job is to activate, animate, strategize, give you ways to think, give you things to do, even come up with a plan and a strategy to have more people experience more of you, because that creates clarity of clients. Then the right clients will come in your direction, and the people who are not interested will be clear as day. It creates such clarity of purpose. We're going to help create clarity of purpose while you're doing this. What is your philosophy? We're going to talk about that. And then, of course, what is your product? And then how do you have more of the world experience? So that's the essence of Produce You, because what I want for you, coming back to today's topic, is that those goals are met, that those goals are reached, that those goals actually are experienced in this lifetime. Because what's the point of all of this? Is to experience the joy of experiencing and expanding in the human experience. That's a lot of experiences in one sentence, but you get the idea. It's like, we're here to experience a lot, the richness and the aliveness of a full, rich life. And who doesn't want that? And so we're going to work on that at Produce You, the event. So thank you for listening today. I recommend this book highly. I just a little heads up, I haven't completely committed to the time of it, but I think there's going to be a workshop about this coming, because it gives a little bit of a timeline in the back of this book about how to offer this philosophy and methodology and thinking into the world. So there's a workshop that I want to do from this book. Be on the lookout for that. Don't know the timing. Don't hold me to it. Looking at my calendar, I have a very busy fall already with speaking and teaching and training in our current 24 clients that we have in Produce You the year. So pretty busy. And oh my gosh, let me just address one thing about being busy. Like, there's a lot. I'm holding a lot. There's 26 one-on-one clients in a year-long program, speaking events, keynoting. Another book is coming. I I invite you into that capacity to hold and generate and create is endless. And of course, there's priorities and days and the dance of it. But oh my gosh, the thrill of being in that creativity mode, right? Versus hoping and wondering and wandering. Like, dare to create your wisdom in the world in some sort of way, shape, or form. And when I looked around, is one of the forms that I put it into the world in is through a book. And I know for some of you, there's a book in you. So, okay, everybody, happy Wednesday. Off to a podcast in mere seconds. I have 2 minutes to jump over to a podcast, which, you know what I'm going to be talking about is actually creativity and bringing more aliveness to your work in the world. So that's what this podcast is about. No idea where it's going to be or when it's going to be broadcast, but I've been on about the podcast game is so fun to be on podcasts. So fun. You want to find out what you're made of and you want to find out what you're all about, be on podcasts. You'll have clarity of what you believe and what you're about, because as they ask you questions on the podcast, you create clarity. So I love being on podcasts because I always see something new that I've never said before. And that becomes the next level of something I want to talk about. So happy Wednesday, everybody. More to come. ProduceYouTheEvent.com. Go join us October 10 and 11 virtual. I promise you, and I'm always scared to say I promise you as a workshop leader and a motivational guy, but I promise you a highly interactive, directive, productive time together to animate and activate your good work into the world in whatever form it wants to take. I promise you we will work on that and get that going. So we'll see you then, and we'll probably see you sooner than that, even on this call again next Wednesday or anything else that I'm offering into the world right now. So much success, sending you all peace, ease, love, health, and wealth to you, your family, your organizations, the groups you belong to, your state, your country, and of course to our globe. So blessings, everybody. Be well. Bye for now. And then I have to do a little stop thing here. Hang on here. I have to stop over here. Hang on, everybody, while I stop at Instagram. There we go. And then we're going to stop in StreamYard, which is on Facebook. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.